Hello students, good morning. So welcome back. So we were doing problems on accounting from incomplete records, that is a 6 marks problem. So we solved two problems, right? Today we'll move to the illustration number 3. Okay, so first two problem it was repeatedly asked in your university examination. So keep practicing the problems. It is not that only two problems where the entries were similar, one or two transactions that may be different from the other problem. Okay, so today we will move to the third illustration. Okay, now illustration number 3. So take down the problem. From the following information, find out the total sales. From the following information, find out the total sales. Opening bills receivable 7,800. Opening bills receivable 7,800. Opening debtors 30,800. 30,800. Bills receivable encashed during the year. Bills receivable encashed during the year 20,900. Cash received from debtors 70,000. Cash received from debtors 70,000. Bad debts return of 2,800. Bad debts return of 2,800. Return inward 8,700. Bills receivable dishonored. Bills receivable dishonored. $1,800. Closing bills receivable 6,000. Closing debtors 25,500. Cash sales during the year 40,900. Okay, so first we'll discuss the problem, that is illustration number 3. Then we proceed with the ledger accounts. Then we will find the total sales. Okay, in the first two problem, they asked you to ascertain the credit sale. But in this problem, they asked you to calculate the total sale. So total sale means it is the sum of all the sales. So all the sales means the sales can be classified as credit sale and cash sale. Credit sale means the goods sold on credit basis, means you didn't receive the cash. Cash sale means you sold the goods on cash basis, means the immediate payment is done. So here you have to find the total sale. So the total sale is cash sale plus credit sale. So cash sale information is given. See the last item, cash sale during the year 40,900, it is given. So you have to find credit sale. So how to find credit sale? So by preparing debtors account, you can find credit sale. Okay, that is clear. Because the debtor information is given, you can find the credit sale. But so along with the debtor information, they are given the opening balance of bills receivable, closing balance of bills receivable, and some transaction that affect the bills receivable. Okay, so that is connected with the bills receivable means you have to prepare bills receivable account. If they give the opening and closing balance, you have to prepare that ledger account. Now, so in the previous problem and the previous class, I made it very clear. The balancing figure of debtor account is transferred to, if it is debit, then credit sale. If it is credit, then it is cash. Okay. So I hope you are understood with that. The balancing figure of debit side in the debtor's account, then that should be credit sale. If the balancing figure on the credit side in debtor's account, then that should be a cash. Now, what about the bills receivable? So bills receivable, as it is a form of debtor, if the balancing figure on the debit side, then it is transferred to debtor's account. Okay, so debit side it is transferred to debtor's account. If it is on the credit side, then it is cash. So in debtor as well as bills receivable, the balancing figure if is on the credit side, then both the ledger account it is cash. Okay, but in the debit side, if you are preparing bills receivable account and you get the balancing figure, the shortage on the debit side means the balancing figure is transferred to debtor's account only if the balancing figure you get on the debit side. Credit side it is cash. Okay, in debtors account, the balancing figure is of debit side, then it is credit sale. Okay, so that's the first thing you need to remember. So before I start with the debtor account, if the bills receivable information is given along with the opening and credit closing balance, means you have to start with the bills receivable account, not the debtors account, because the balancing figure if you get on the debit side, then you have to transfer to debtor account. So that purpose you have to start with the bills receivable account. Okay, draw the lines for bills receivable account, that is a ledger account. Okay, that is bills receivable account, particulars amount in rupees, particulars amount in rupees. Okay, before we start with the practical problem, first we'll pass the journal entry. Okay, take a pencil and write the journal entry on the margin or anywhere else. Okay, so the first one, that is the opening balance. So bills receivable as well as debtor is an asset for me. So opening balance of asset is always debit balance. So opening bills receivable, that is 2 balance brought down. Opening debtor, that is 2 balance brought down. Both is my asset. Next, bills receivable encashed. Encashed means you received the cash. So when you receive the cash, cash comes in. So the journal entry will be cash account debtor to bills receivable account. It is not debtor encashed, it is bills receivable encashed. Okay, bills receivable and bills in the form of bills receivable you receive the cash. So the journal entry will be cash account debit to bills receivable. So write cash account debit to bills receivable. The next one, cash received from debtors. So you are receiving the cash from debtors. So the entry will be cash account debit to debtors account because debtor is the giver. Cash account debit to debtors account. Next one, bad debts written off. Bad debts written off, again it's a repeated transaction. Bad debts account debit to debtors account. So in debtors account you have to credit bad debt. So it is bad debts account debit to debtors account. Next, return inward. Now return inward, it is nothing but sales return. Okay, return inward is nothing but sales return. So return inward means the goods is coming in inward. It is returned. It is returned back. ನಿಮಗೆ return ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ. Means how to identify whether it is purchase return or sales return. Before returning the goods, what transaction has taken place, that you have to notice. Okay, you have to notice what transaction it has been taken place before. Okay, now it is written inward, it is coming in means you have sold the goods to someone. Because you have sold goods to someone, he can return the goods. So that is sales return, because you sold, now it is returned. If it is a return outward means you are returning the goods, means outward. In the goods in the ogul. So you are returning the goods means before that you have purchased the goods. Only when if you purchase the goods you can return it back. Okay, so return outward is a purchase return, return inward is the sales return. So sales return in the problem 2 we solved, we came across that transaction sales return. So sales return, again it is a credit side of debtor. So entry sales return account debit to debtors account. Sales return account debit to debtors account. Next, bills receivable dishonored. So bills receivable dishonored, it is an opposite of which transaction? You just recall which transaction opposite dishonored. Bills receivable received का opposite bills receivable dishonored. So the journal entry for dishonor of the bill is debtors account debit to bills receivable. Debtors account debit to bills receivable means this transaction is recorded in bills receivable account as well as debtors account. ಎರಡು account ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನೀವು record ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. Because the journal entry is bills receivable to debtors, so there is a debtor account, sorry, debtors account debit to bills receivable. So journal entry is debtors account debit to bills receivable because it is dishonored. Debtors account debit to bills receivable. Now you have to record in the debtor account because there is a debit. Debtors account has been debited, bills receivable has been credited, means it should be recorded in the bills receivable account also. So journal entry ನೋಡಿ record ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. Okay, what next? Then the closing balance both is a credit balance because both is my asset. So cash sale, it is needed to calculate total sale. Okay, now we'll start with the problem. So first you have to record the opening balance. First you have to record the opening balance. So right, to balance brought down. So we are preparing bills receivable account. So any transactions that affect bills receivable, that you have to record. So to opening balance, that is to balance brought down 7,800. That is the first transaction. Next, opening debtor, that you have to record in the debtors account, bills receivable and cash. Just now we pass the journal entry. What is the journal entry you written there? It is cash account debit to bills receivable. So in bills receivable account, it is by cash. In bills receivable account, it is by cash. That is 20,900. 20,900. Next transaction, that is cash received from debtors. Cash received from debtors, the journal entry that you are going to pass, cash account debit to debtors account. So it should be recorded in cash as well as debtors account, but we are preparing bills receivable account. So this will not affect your bills receivable account. Journal entry ಅಲ್ಲಿ bills receivable ಇದ್ರೆ ಮಾತ್ರ record ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಇಲ್ಲಿ. Otherwise, you have to ignore the transactions when you are preparing the bills receivable account. Bad debts written off. The journal entry is bad debts account debit to debtors account. Bad debts account debit to debtors account. So again, it will not affect your bills receivable. Return inward. The journal entry is sales return account debit to debtors account. Again, it will not affect your ledger account. Bills receivable account. And the next one, bills receivable dishonored. Now, what is the journal entry you just passed? Debtors account debit to bills receivable account. Debtors account debit to bills receivable account. Now you are preparing bills receivable account. So you have to write by debtors account. You have to write by debtors account. So it is by debtors account 1,800. By debtors account 1,800. Okay, next. Closing bills receivable. So bills receivable is an asset. The closing balance will be By balance carried down. By balance carried down 6,000. By balance carried down 6,000. Okay, next you find the total. Your credit side is more. So use your calculator and find the total and write it in both the side, debit as well as credit side. So your total is 28,700. 28,700 is the total. So now your debit side total is less, means the balancing figure is written on the debit side. Okay, so if the in bills receivable, if the debit side total is less, the balancing figure is the debit side, then it should be transferred to debtors account. So write to debtors account, that is balancing figure 20,900, that is balancing figure. Within the bracket you write balancing figure. To debtors account, within the bracket you write balancing figure 20,900. It is balancing figure. So it is balancing figure. To debtors account, balancing figure 20,900. To debtors account, balancing figure 20,900. So first you pass the opening journal entry, the opening balance, that is two balance brought down. Then we add cash, bills receivable encashed, so it is by cash account. Then we add bills receivable dishonored, so it is by debtors account. Then we add the closing balance, so we recorded by balance carried down. Then you have to find the total. The balancing figure is transferred to debtors account if it is debit balance. The difference if you found in the debit side. If the difference is on the credit side, then that is cash. So this is bills receivable account. Next we will move on to the debtors account. So write debtors account, then draw the lines. Okay. So debtors account. So first you have to start with the opening balance. So debtor is an asset. So opening balance will be debit balance. So write two balance brought down 30,800. 30,800, that is the opening debtors balance. Okay, now you come back to the problem. So first thing, that is opening bills receivable, that is done. Opening debtor we just now recorded. Third entry, bills receivable and cash, that affect the bills receivable ledger account, that is recorded. So nothing to do with the debtor account. The fourth one, that is cash received from debtors. So the journal entry is cash account debit to debtors account. Just now we passed the journal entry in the beginning itself. So in debtors account it is by cash. In debtors account it is by cash 70,000. By cash 70,000. Next, bad debts written off. So the journal entry is bad debts account debit to debtors account. In debtors account it is by bad debts account. So bad debts account 2,800. So bad debts account debit to debtors account. So it is by bad debts. Next, return inward. So return inward means it is sales return. Return inward under sales return. So journal entry sales return account debit to debtors account. In debtors account it is by sales return account. So by sales return account 8,700. By sales return account 8,700. So by sales return 8,700. Next, bills receivable dishonored. So what is the journal entry? It is bills debtors account debit to bills receivable. So we are preparing debtors account. So in debtors account it is to bills receivable account, that is 1,800. To bills receivable account, that is 1,800. To bills receivable account, that is 1,800. So next, that is closing bills receivable account. So closing bills receivable, it is already recorded in bills receivable account. Next, closing debtor. So asset, debtor is an asset. So it is a credit balance. Before we record the closing balance, now first you see the bills receivable account. Is there any debtor entry? The item that is relating to debtors you have to see first. Then you have to close the debtor account. So credit side, you see the credit side. Here it is to by debtors account 1,800. So it is already recorded. Two bills receivable account 1,800. Correct? It is done. By debtors account 1,800. Two bills receivable account 1,800. It is done. But on the debit side, we have two debtors account and 20,900 is the balance that we have to record now. Before recording the closing debtor balance, we have to record the transaction that affects the debtor balance. Then we have to close the ledger account. So see there, what is the journal entry? It is to debtor means by bills receivable. So the journal entry will be bills receivable account debit to debtors account. Correct? It is to debtor means it is by bills receivable. So by bills receivable account debit to debtors. Now in debtors account it is by bills receivable account. It is by bills receivable account 20,900. So this is the balance. This we recorded here with same figure. To debtors account means it is by bills receivable 20,900. Next, you have to record the closing balance, that is buy balance carried down. Buy balance carried down 25,500. Buy balance carried down 25,500. So the balancing figure, will be, before that you do the total. So first you can find out the total of debtors account. It is 1,27,900. That is a credit side total, 1,27,900. The balancing figure is 2 credit sales account. That is balancing figure. 2 credit sale, that is balancing figure. So it is 2 credit sales account, balancing figure 95,300. 2 credit sales, balancing figure 95,300. Okay, now, so they asked you to find out the total sale. Okay, if they asked you to find out the credit sale, then you have to stop till here because you already calculated what is the credit sale. But they asked you to find out what is the total sale. Okay, now what is the formula? So total sale is the sum of cash sale plus credit sale. Okay, so cash sale plus credit sale, that is total sale. Now what is cash sale? So cash sale figure, so they are given in the problem itself. See the last entry, the last transaction, cash sales during the year, that is 40,900. So cash sale 40,900. Now credit sale, we just now find out the balance. Okay, so we just ascertain the balance of credit sale, that is 95,300. So cash sale, they have given the ready figure 40,900. Credit sale, we ascertain the figure by preparing debtors account. So right, so total sale is equals to cash sale plus credit sale. Below that, cash sale 40,900, which is given in the problem. Credit sale 95,300. Just now we ascertained that figure. So if you add, you will get total sale. You find out what is the total sale. Okay, find this. Just you add the figures. Use the calculator, add the figure, and find out total sale. So it is rupees 1,36,200. My total sale will be rupees 1,36,200. Okay, so this is illustration number 3, where they asked you to find out total sale. They have given information about the bills receivable as well as the debtor. So you have to prepare bills receivable account first. The balancing figure you have to transfer to debtor account. Only the balancing figure if you get on the debit side. If the debit is having the shortage of balance, ನಿಮ್ಮ ಡೆಬಿಟ್ ಸೈಡ್ ಬಿಲ್ಸ್ ರಿಸಿವೇಬಲ್ ನ ಡೆಬಿಟ್ ಸೈಡ್ ಬ್ಯಾಲೆನ್ಸ್ ಶಾರ್ಟೇಜ್ ಆದ್ರೆ ಮಾತ್ರ ಬ್ಯಾಲೆನ್ಸಿಂಗ್ ಫಿಗರ್ ಡೆಕ್ಟರ್ಸ್ ಅಕೌಂಟ್ ಗೆ ಹೋಗ್ಬೇಕು. Otherwise it is cash account. If the balancing figure on the credit side, then it is cash account. If it is debit side, then it is debtors account. Then you have to start with the debtor account with the opening balance. Then you have to record all the transaction which is given in the problem. Then after that, before writing the closing balance, you just go on the just have the glimpse on the bills receivable account, and you see whether you left any entry from the bills receivable account. Okay, always after recording all the transaction, before recording the closing balance, you have to see the previous ledger account, and you have to see any item that is not appearing in the problem, but it is ascertained you got the value from bills receivable account. If there is any such a transaction, then you have to pass it to the debtors account. Okay, you have to transfer to debtors account, just like we had the balancing figure on the debit side as a 2 debtors account. So just to transfer it to debtors account, then you have to close the balance of debtors account by transferring it to credit sale if it is debit side, if there is a shortage on the debit side. Otherwise it is cash on the, if it is on the credit side. Next, they asked you to prepare that, they asked you to find out the total sale. Total sale means cash sale plus credit sale. So cash sale figure they have readily given in the problem itself. So the last one, that is cash sale during the year 40,900. The credit sale, just now you ascertain the figure. If you add, you will get the total sale. So this is practical number problem 3. Okay, next class we'll move to the next problem. Okay, next illustration we'll move on the next problem. So till then, keep solving the problem. Okay, keep studying, keep passing the entries. Okay, after the class you take the book and you just solve it by yourself and you check whether you understood or not. If not, you can contact me. Okay, so till tomorrow's class, keep practicing. Thank you.